Today we're going to show you how to save $197 with this Pottery Barn hack. We saw this pine cone wreath at Pottery Barn for $212, so we thought we could do it ourselves and save a lot more money on it. So I did the math on this and figured out that we could do it for around $15. Now that's a big savings, and the result is pretty much identical to the Pottery Barn wreath, dare I say, even better. So for the project, we're using some very basic items. We have the black foam board. We're using black because we don't want it showing behind the pine cones. Then we have our usual lineup of Gorilla products. We have some duct tape, glue. So I'm going to be making this wreath to the same scale as the Pottery Barn one, which is 26 inches. Now we're going to be making ours 24 inches because there will be an overhang of pine cones. I have a long history of pine cone crafts. My very first one was a pine cone that I found on the way home from school in grade 1. I found this pine cone, I put some yarn on it, and I made a Christmas ornament for my mom, and she loved it. And it graced our Christmas tree for many years. For such a simple item, pine cone crafts can have a huge impact, and they're practically free. So you can just use what you have on hand and keep your costs low. So here you can see after I've made my circles, I'm just cutting them out with an X-Acto knife. To make your cutting easier, you can just fold it in half and cut the other half out. Using the foam core as our backing is a much better deal than getting a wire frame. We checked Michael's and we found that theirs were about $45 for about a 24-inch wire frame. So this saves you a lot of money, only cost $4. Your biggest savings will be picking your own pine cones. Here I am picking up some pine cones in a parking lot. To get some bigger pine cones, we decided to take a little road trip to the Rocky Mountains, and what a beautiful trip that was. To see more scenic shots from our Rocky Mountain trip, stay tuned to the end of the video. Now the great thing about pine cones is that you don't have to go to the Rocky Mountains to pick them. You can pick them anywhere. We picked some from our local McDonald's drive-thru. We decided to upsize them. Would you like some pine cones with that? Just kidding. The point being, you can get pine cones anywhere that you're at. Sorry, couldn't talk for a second there. But I think any mom would really love this wreath. So let's get back to making our wreath. We started in the center with the small pine cones. Now I decided to go a lot more formal, but if you wanted to do a hodgepodge, do different sizes everywhere, lay them on their sides, etc., you could do so. Feel free to be creative. You can make this any way that you want. So just do whatever you like. Now I'm going to be putting in some lights. I got this string of lights off of Amazon, and the link will be down below. So I picked these lights because they're a ton of fun. They're only $6, and they have 8 modes, a 6-hour timer. These will last you all season. So I'm just doing a rough fitting here to make sure I have enough, and it goes around twice. So you want to do a test run with your lights, make sure they work, and wrap them around to see how many you'll have. So the reason we got these lights was because there was 50 in it, and that matches the Pottery Barn hack. So if you have a different set of lights, that's all fine too. So here I'm going to be using some Campbell's Chunky Soup as risers for my wreath. Now it also makes a quick and easy lunch when crafting. If Campbell's Soups would like to sponsor us, I'm good with that. Good. The reason I'm putting our wreath up on risers is so that I can access the underneath, so I can push the lights up. Put the lights in, just pick a spot in between a pine cone, poke it with a skewer or a pencil, and push the light up through the hole. It's just like a little light bright almost. So I did the first 2 rows with pine cones and then put in the lights. But as I discovered what I was putting in the 3rd row, you could probably just put all your pine cones in and then put the lights in between them all. So to prepare our pine cones, we put them on a parchment paper on a baking sheet, put them in the oven at 200 degrees for about 20 minutes. Now this will kill off any bugs or any such things inside your pine cones. Now I'm using Ponderosa pine cones for my project, but you can use any pine cones that you find in your area. Fascinating things about pine cones is that when they're wet, they close up. So you want to bake them to open them up fully. I've got my faithful assistant Harry here, always steals my seat. Just push your skewer through, then pop your light up from underneath up through the top, just like that. We did not glue the lights in. Another good reason for using the foam backing, other than the cheapness of it, is that you can push the lights up through it easily. Using this method is really great because it hides the string of the lights first of all, and using a dark string is very helpful so that it doesn't show through the pine cones. Once all your lights are in, we'll just flip it over and we'll do some last minute tweaking. So I started off by gluing down our battery box, and you'll want to make sure that the button and everything is on the upside. If you really like what you're seeing, don't forget to share with your family and friends. We have a lot more beautiful, affordable, and cost-saving pine cone videos to come. So on the first row, I left a few loose ones that I didn't push through the foam. This is so the light can come out so that the inside lights better, and these I will just tape down to the foam backing. And in the tape areas where the lights don't come through so easy with the skewer, just take an X-Acto knife and cut those holes a little bit bigger, then pop your light up through it. So we have some upcoming video tutorials on pine cone flowers coming up, but right now I'm going to be making some simple ones so that we can match the Pottery Barn Wreath. So using some smaller pine cones, you just want to cut them in half with the garden pruners. Don't forget to keep the smaller pieces for future projects and for fillers. And slide your pine cone as far down the blade as you can. It makes it a lot easier for cutting. Then trim up any loose ends on the inside of your flower. And to match the Pottery Barn Wreath, we're going to be cutting 9 of these flowers. We like to work with pine cones because they're accessible to everyone and they're free. There are 111 different species of pines worldwide, and 49 of those species are in North America, and they are available in all 50 states. Here's our wreath, and it's looking good. Now we just have to fill in some of these gaps with some flowers. Just take a minute and check your wreath to look at all the gaps to see what you have to fill with flowers. Once you've identified your gaps, just do a dry fit first. Once you're happy with all that, then glue them all in place. And if you have additional gaps, just cut more flowers to fill them in. Now that your wreath is complete, we're going to be making a hanger. So you take the skewer, place 2 holes about 1 inch, 2 inches apart, take a nice zip tie, take it through the bottom here, up through 1 hole, then pull it through. Then put it through the other hole, then wiggle and adjust that through the pine cone and pull it out through the back. Then you'll want to zip tie it, but don't pull it too tight just yet. You'll want to adjust that loop so you get the right size, probably about 1 inch or 2. You can sort of check against your frame as you go along, so don't pull it all tight. Check, okay, a little bit more, perfect. Then just cut off your excess, and we'll be putting another flower on top just to cover up that zip tie. There, you're done. Thanks for crafting with me today, and I hope you share this with your friends and family. Maybe make one for that special loved one.